How would you feel if people were writing completely untrue and extremely abusive comments about you and your business online, posting all your personal details online and claiming to be watching you in real life?
Well, that's what happened to Neil and Donna Sands on a controversial gossip website called Tattle Life. They sued the company for defamation, and they've just won the landmark case and a significant amount of money. Well, Neil and Donna Sands join us now. Very good morning to you. This is a historic judgment, I understand. You have got a £150,000 in damages each, as well as legal costs. What was it like for you reading, I think it was a 45-page thread, 45 pages of comments, negative comments about you on the site?
45 pages seems a lot, maybe, but when you put it in the context of the site, there are so many threads, and that is actually probably one of the smallest threads that's on that.
So there are other people who have got even more comments about them?
And the outreach from lots of different people from all across the world. This has spanned to Australia, America, and closer to home, the likes of Mrs. Hinch reached out over the weekend, and she was actively targeted on a daily basis on that website. So 49 pages wasn't actually that much, but in context of the whole site. But having that daily abuse was just an horrendous feeling.
What kind of abuse are we talking about?
So the site is well designed for moderating in voice of dissent, voice of extremism and hate speech, defamation, abuse. And so thematically, when we looked on the site, we saw details of our business, and there was defamatory details of our business, completely untrue, but it got more menacing over time. And eventually it got into stalking. There was lots of commentary of where we were when we were in a restaurant, we're watching you, stuff like this. And
so kind of like cyber stalking, really.
But stalking in real life. So this was somebody saying, oh, we can see you in this restaurant, we're looking at you right now. People were driving back and forth at our house, and the details of our house were posted on the thread. And
you mentioned defamation of your business. Like, what kind of things were they saying?
Just completely misrepresenting everything we do, saying, for example, that Donna's got a fashion business called Silky, and she was selling clothes that were completely poor quality, and she was completely over-representing her prices, and then everything right down to the molecular level of our finances from Company's House were posted onto the site. So it got quite menacing over time.
Why did you decide to sue? Because the thing about trolls is, very often the best advice is just to ignore them. They don't actually have any real power in most cases. Why did you feel that this was different?
We didn't do it for us. We never wanted to undertake this work. I'm a technologist by trade, and I think a lot of folks did try when I said, earlier on that this gentleman would open his inbox and he would see very many hundreds of solicitors' letters, I'm sure, from different entities that were affected by the site. But you need both a legal fortitude, I think, to pursue something like this, but also a technical understanding of how these websites are built. And thankfully, some of my friends, I worked in Silicon Valley for most of my career, and they helped with the unpacking of who was behind the site.
The judge didn't mince their words. Judge McAlinden said, a day of reckoning will come for those behind Tattle Life, that's the site we're talking about, and for those individuals who posted on Tattle Life. And he said, to hasten the day of reckoning, it's appropriate the court makes an award of damages to each plaintiff. So, as you say, you both got 6 figures in this case. So a complete and resounding victory.
Yeah, it was quite amazing because so many people have got to a certain stage in the legal battle, and when we undertook it, we didn't want to do this, but we thought that if we could do something, we should do something. And my mum said, Donna, why are the police not stepping in at this stage? And we're just delighted that the judge took it so seriously. And, lots of these people might have huge personalities, but there's lots of small business owners there as well. And I was just someone who has stood on the shop floor since I was 16 years of age, meeting people all the time. And from this site, it completely made me withdraw. It made me doubt what people were thinking of me, and he needed to be made accountable.
I wonder if you can just explain a little bit more about how it made you feel, because I think that's the significant impact here, isn't it?
Yeah, it impacted me on so many different levels. So every morning I would wake up and I would think, OK, what have they said now in the last 7 hours? When I turn on my phone, my body would actually just shake. And that was one level, so reading the trolls. On another level, I was trying my best. I went and started an MBA during this as well, because my confidence was so low. I was like, no, I'm going to overcome this. And I went in on the first day to Trinity College and I met all of these lovely professionals and they said, well, what's your business called? And everyone's normally proud of their business and able to say it. And the first thing that I thought when I started an MBA was, they're all going to Google me and this thread comes up in the first or second platform. So we're just normal business people. I had a modest following of 20,000 followers, which was a community I had curated for years. So for that to happen and for that now to be what was left on the internet, we all thought, you know, that we were anonymous, that you could write whatever you wanted. But it's great that now people maybe will move forward positively and know that that's not the case.
The judge, as you said, pretty harsh. As you said, Richard, a day of reckoning. To hasten that day, it's appropriate the court makes an award of damages to each plaintiff. It would be remiss of the court to award costs on any other basis than indemnity. This is clearly a case of peddling untruths for profit. It is the exercise of extreme cynicism, which in reality constitutes behaviour solely aimed at making profit out of people's misery. People facilitating this, making money out of it, and then protecting their income streams by protecting the identity of the individual posters. It's a pretty extraordinary set of comments from the judge in your case.
Real vindication for you too, after all you've been
really
through.
difficult road, and it's you know, there's so many twists and turns in the case to get to where we are today.
But it has ended up as the largest damages award for defamation in Northern Ireland's legal history, as it's understood.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, thank you both very much. So we have the legal right of reply. Lawyers for Sebastian Bond, who was revealed as the man behind Tattle Life, have said Mr Bond was entirely unaware of the proceedings brought in Northern Ireland by Mr and Mrs Sands until he saw media reports of the case on Friday, and that he strongly denies ruining anyone's life. They say Tattle Life takes complaints about posts seriously and has a zero-tolerance policy to any content that is abusive, hateful or harmful. And a team of moderators quickly removes content that breaks those strict rules.
Well, there we are. You, nevertheless, go home with your hearings and your money. And your reputation intact. Thank you both very much indeed.
Most importantly, thank you
both.